CMA US Certified Management Accountant. Now, this is a qualification which is awarded by the IMA, which is the Institute of Management Accountants headquartered in the United States, having a presence in more than 140 countries and territories across the world. And this is a qualification which typically makes you an expert at everything that's around management accounting, financial planning, costing, budgeting and control, internal audits. इस तरह के subjects और इस तरह के core areas आप सीखते हो qualification में, and accordingly you can do those kind of jobs. So typically if you look at data, the kind of jobs that CMA US candidates get are generally surrounding accounting, internal audit, management accounting, FP&A, which is financial planning and analysis, corporate finance. So usually we've seen that CMA US candidates are able to work well in these kind of areas. Now typically if you ask me what kind of organizations, तो ऐसा है कि this role is required by any and every organization. तो आप consulting side ले लें जैसे Big Four हो गया, or you take top organizations in any sectors, right? And as you see on screens, you'll see companies like American Express, Amazon, General Electric, Novartis, Yes Bank, Wipro, HSBC. So these are all multi-sectoral large organizations, and these are some of the regular employers of CMA US candidates, let's say in India. Now let's understand the eligibility for CMA US. Now you can actually do the qualification anytime after grade 12. Okay, so we've generally seen a lot of candidates do it in their undergrad years, first year, second year, third year. So you could club it with your graduation. You can club it with your master's degree. So a lot of times after the BCom, candidates are doing a master's degree. So let's say MCom पढ़ रहे हैं, उसके साथ कर लेते हैं. A lot of students do it after MBA Finance. A lot of people do it after their first qualification, like a lot of ACCA students then do CMA US, a lot of chartered accountants do CMA US, a lot of MBA finance candidates do CMA US. So you can club this qualification with another qualification, or you could do it with your undergrad years as well. But the point to note is that you can do it anytime after grade 12. Now let's understand the syllabus. So as you can see on your screens, part 1 is basically financial planning, performance and analytics. And typically these are the core concepts you learn. So you study external financial reporting decisions, planning, budgeting and forecasting, performance management, cost management, internal controls and technology and analytics, which is part 1. And in part 2, as you can see, you're doing more of strategic financial management. So you're studying financial statement and analysis, corporate finance, decision analysis, risk, investment decisions, professional ethics. And that's why I said that, at the end of the day, after having done this qualification, you have expertise in how to look at costs, how to look at decision making, how to look at corporate finance, how to look at a business from an internal audit perspective. ये सब core areas आपके develop हो जाते हैं. Now let's understand how the exams happen. Now CMA US करने के लिए broadly there are two parts. There's part 1 and there is part 2. Okay. Now each part, so you have to basically give your part 1 followed by part 2, or you can give your part 2 followed by part 1. Alright, so exam तो दो ही करने हैं. Now every exam is a 500 mark paper. Okay, and as you can see on your screens, this is what the structure of it looks like. So it's basically a 4-hour paper for 500 marks, जिसमें 3 hours are reserved for 100 MCQs. Okay, and the last 1 hour is reserved for 2 essay type of questions. Now in these 3 hours, when you are attempting these 100 MCQs, you have to at least get 50 MCQs correct. मतलब अगर आपका 50 MCQs correct होगा तो ये exam software will allow you to move from the first part to the second part, which has got 2 essay type of questions. Okay, otherwise it will not allow you to move. So once you do that, you move to the second part. In the last 1 hour, you do the 2 essay type questions. And overall, out of 500 marks, you have to score a minimum of 72% or 360 marks out of 500 marks to clear the exam. This is the structure for part 1, and this is also the structure for part 2. So usually we've seen that the preparation time for each part is anywhere between 6 to 8 months. So candidates prepare for 6-8 months, give the first part, followed by the preparation for 6 months, then the second part. So 1 से 1.5 साल, 12 to 18 months period में you can finish this qualification. Okay, so let's say if you started after your grade 12, between your first year and second year, you can actually finish the entire qualification. Now the exam windows, again, as you can see on your screen, there are multiple times a year. So there are exams in May, June, there is an exam window in September, October, and then there is also an exam window in Jan, Feb. So literally exams are happening 6 months of the year. Okay, so as soon as you're ready, there is always a window for you to go and do these online exams. Globally, the pass rates for CMA US exams average is about 50%, but of course if you dive deeper into the past rates of your country or your coaching provider, they could be fairly high as 70 to 80% also. Now let's understand what kind of fees you need to pay if you have to do this course. Now कोई भी professional course करने के लिए there are two parts. One is the amount of fees that you pay the professional body, which is the IMA in this case, and second is the fees that you pay your coaching provider. अब पहले अपन बात करते हैं what is the fees that you will end up paying the professional body, which is IMA. Now as you can see on your screens, typically IMA को pay करने के लिए 4 parts होते हैं. There is something called as a IMA membership fee, then there is a entrance fee, then there is an exam fee for part 1 and then there is an exam fee for part 2. So typically ये 4 चीज़ आपको pay करना पड़ता है to the IMA. Okay, that's the first thing that you need to know. Second you need to know is, now ये fees, maybe there are 2 routes. You could go through doing the qualification as a student and as a professional. Now as a student मतलब आप एक undergrad student है या आप एक masters के student है, okay? So you're going through the student route, and if you're not going through the student route, you're in the professional route. Now the reason for making this very clear is because इन दोनों के fees भी अलग है. एक स्टूडेंट रूट से आप जाते हैं तो आपका टिपिकली जो मेंबरशिप फी है, एंट्रेंस फीस है, एग्जाम फीस है, वो काफ़ी कम है कंपेयर टू द प्रोफेशनल रूट. ओके, सो दैट इज वन मोर थिंग दैट यू नीड टू डू. Number 3, IMA has the concept of approved course providers. So there are certain course providers that they've given a platinum status, a gold status, a silver status, platinum being the highest and silver being the lowest. Now if you go through these course providers, further your fees can go down. Okay, to give you an example or to give you context, okay, सपोज आप एक आपका मेंबरशिप फीस, एंट्रेंस फीस, पार्ट 1 पार्ट 2 फीस सब मिला के सपोज आप स्टूडेंट रूट से जाएं नॉर्मली, तो आपका एनीवेयर बिटवीन $1100 to $1200 का खर्चा होता है. लेकिन आप वही स्टूडेंट रूट से थ्रू कोर्स प्रोवाइडर जाएं तो दैट वैल्यू कैन गो डाउन टू एनीवेयर बिटवीन $600 to $700. So let us assume that you are going through the student route and you're going through a course provider, which means you're paying IMA through the course provider. Your investments can be anywhere between $600 to $700. This obviously takes care of all the 4 fees components which I spoke about: membership fees, entrance fees, part 1 and part 2 fees. इसके साथ साथ you will also pay for your coaching, and generally we've seen that the coaching fees of both the parts is anywhere between 70 to 80,000 rupees. अब आप दोनों को जोड़ ले तो जनरली इसका इन्वेस्टमेंट आता है anywhere between 1.5 lakhs to 1,60,000 rupees. Usually that's the amount that you need to do your CMA US. If you need more details on the CMA US program, please write to us. We are very happy to make a detailed video and give it to you. Thank you.